Hello, guys, and welcome back to another Let's Draw with me. And today, we're not just going to be doing an image that I've been working on by picture on a piece of paper, as we've already done that this week. We've already completed, and now we're into the November month and the new theme, which is fire and fireworks. We're going to be finding out where the origins of fireworks came from, and also creating something from that dynasty. So keep tuned, guys. But that is going to be going throughout this month. So keep tuned all this month for this new thing, as Dark Month is finished now, guys. But like I said, we're going to be continuing on and creating the new thumbnail or the cover picture for my channel, as the Angel of Death is going to be removed, or Bluto is going to be removed, and I'm going to be putting this new one up here soon. But I do need to finish a little bit on here. So what I'm going to do today, guys, is show you how and what sort of dimension you need to create a cover for your channel of yourself. And like I said, I've already got something set up, which I was working on the other day, because I wanted to get a sort of a jump on it. But what you need, guys, is between 26081 for the diameters, and the width is 1862. So definitely don't forget to make sure you, when you open up a new file, you need to put those in. I'll see if I can get those up there quickly for you. Like I said, sorry, the numbers are 2047 by 1152. Make sure that the resolution's at the point that you need it at, and you're happy with. But those are the dimensions for the sorry about that, guys. That's a phone. That is the dimensions for the cover picture that you will need for your to put a cover picture on your actual channel. Instead of nicking somebody else's, you can create your own. And again, guys, this is a complete free app, so don't forget you can get this one yourself. And if you want this for yourself, let me know down below, and I'll give you a link to where I got this free app from. And like again, guys, it is like let's call it the poor man's Photoshop. You can do pretty much all the things that you need to do. Check back on previous videos for other techniques and other things, but today I'm going to be showing you what I'm going to be getting up to and what the new cover is going to be. Like I said, we've got the Mask of V for Vendetta already up there, and that is going to be the first picture next week, which I'll be starting. Excuse me. Where again I will show you how to draw your own figurines and your own person that you want to create. And normally I'll take inspiration from other people. So if you guys have got any ideas that you want to see in this month, don't forget you can leave a comment down below or in the live chat today at any point. Or like again, if you're catching back, check down below to leave yourself a comment on my channel. And also right next to that comment button is the subscribe button. So if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ding the bell so you know when things are going to be going on this month. Again, I'm on Instagram, same name, different place. But as always, we've got a comic story and playlist to listen to. So let's get that going and get drawing.
Marvel giant-sized event. And the starter for this entire event is the Infinity Wars primer. So the event's called Infinity Wars. It has a ton of tie-ins and a ton of stuff going on. And we now have the primer setting up all of the events. It's basically a Guardians of the Galaxy storyline, which is why I kind of enjoy it. But let me know what you think. In Omnipotent City, a voice asks why. Why do I remember some of these stories differently than these books? Loki pushes the scrolls away, standing up, stating that there is no end to his torment. Why isn't he ever the hero of the story? It's the same stories over and over again, each with a slightly different outcome, but none of which are me on the throne. There must be someone behind this. But before Loki could go on, a large, older woman with braids tells him, yes, someone is always behind it. Well, whatever it is, good luck with it. My library is closing. Loki shouts, I am the Prince of Asgard. Have I been away so long that they do not remember me? The woman tells him that she does, my lord. He may call her Flower, one of the Asgardian tomb keepers. and he is lucky that she even let him in here at all. Flower grabs Loki by the horns, pulling him out, and Loki says, "How strong are you?" Flower then says that it's because
I'm going to be using different tools, and if you can't hear me, let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, I'll be listening to that playlist while I draw.
Loki out of the library. Loki tells him in a moment someone is playing a trick on him. Some of those stupid books are wrong.
Just minimizing this here.
It is driving me mad. Different universes with the same
minimize button.
Why? Flower grabs Loki by the arm, telling him that she remembers something about that over here. Loki asks, "Do you recall a story where I was the hero? This better not be a trick. How did you come to be with all of these Asgardian books anyway?" Flower then starts looking through the books, stating that Freya thought keeping all their knowledge in one place was not one of Odin's smarter decisions. Flower then pulls out a book stating that this one is about the Similian strife in a war of worlds, though she's never read it. Loki takes the book and he begins to flip through the pages until he sees himself, but the pages afterwards have been ripped out. He asks, "What the hell is this? The story begins with me, but most of it is gone." And Flower shouts, grabbing her sword, asking, "What? I'll find the knave and make them redraw the pages before I slay them." Loki calms her, stating, "Not if I do it first. But what do you know of this tale?" Flower thinks back, stating that the only thing that she can remember is that it had something to do with the quarry way out at the end of space. Loki asks her, "The God Quarry?" And Flower tells him that it is what the people call it now, but long ago it was known as the Quarry of Creation. The gods are just the top sediment. Loki then says that he shall go to the God Quarry, and Flower laughs, stating that one does not go there. That place is protected by the elder witches. Loki begins to ask if she would be so kind as to pass on the knowledge of these witches. And Flower grabs Loki by the wrist, telling him that she is missing her book, Gather Fellowship. Flower then pushes Loki out, and Loki tells her, "Wait, is that really what you're doing tonight? Perhaps you would like to accompany me to the God, Quarry of Creation." She begins to close the door but stops, and then says that she always wanted to travel. Perhaps it is her chance to write her own tome. Meanwhile, in the soul world, Adam Warlock flies through, sensing that something is different. The bright utopia of the soul world is gone. As if something is draining it, the souls that dwell here don't seem to notice. A short while later, Adam visits the Sanctum Sanctorium to see Dr. Strange, the current owner of the Time Stone. Dr. Strange sighs, stating that no one ever stops here for a visit to Adam. The stones were destroyed. And Adam says that he is not so sure the stones can be destroyed. The Time Stone? Do you still have it, Strange? Dr. Strange asks, "You're not thinking of assembling the stones, are you?" And as Adam starts to say no, Strange stops him, telling him, "Good. There's something I picked up in my most recent travels. The ropes of designed nomads. Tethers capable of spanning dimensional doors. But before we leave, there's one question that I must ask. How did you find the
bits and bobs that I want to change on here?
He retrieved it from Ultron, where he had some help.
I don't know really where to go. I think I'll give him a hat.
Dr. Strange says
it's Guy Fawkes or Beast with a Different Mask, but it is based on Guy Fawkes. And if you don't know about Guy Fawkes, you will be getting some more information next week when I do actual full-bit image of V for Vendetta, mask and full figure.
How is it? And Adam tells him that it's
all faffing around at the moment, guys, over on Instagram. Got a few messages. I'm just quickly answering what they are saying. If you want to join me over there for a live chat, you can. Leave one in the comment section, or you can come over to the actual live streams where I tell everybody what's going on over on Instagram. Same name, different place.
Asking what is happening, and Adam calls back, "Do not enter!" Dr. Strange sighs, stating that now he kind of has to, and he sends a projection, leaving his physical body on the outside. As he enters the portal, he yells, "By the hoary hosts!" and he sees Adam being ripped apart. The projection flies back to Dr. Strange's physical body, and he says that he really had hoped to keep this a secret as he pulls out the Time Stone. Time begins to rewind, and Dr. Strange tells his former self, just as Adam entered, to pull him back out. Dr. Strange then heads into the portal, telling the past Adam to return, and that Adam asks, "What is it?" Dr. Strange looks up at the creature, stating that it's something new. "Now run!" Time begins to realign itself, and Adam says that he had the Time Stone but didn't tell him. And Dr. Strange tells him that he failed to say that brought him back to the present. Adam then asks, "What was that?" And Dr. Strange pours himself a glass, stating, "A reason to drink." He takes a sip of his drink, stating that when Gamora visited not long ago, she showed him some of the soul world.
Sort of reshaping a little bit, making sure everything is mask worthy, if you like.
Adam stops him, telling him that he's not.
As Halloween is over now, guys, but if you guys do still want an idea to make a craft a mask for any kind of event, you can by checking out the other videos that I've got up on my channel, guys.
Looks back, telling him goodbye, Adam. But as Adam begins to leave, he calls back that Kang won't be the only one looking. He will come. And as Dr. Strange watches Adam fly off, he quietly says, "Thanos." Also, during this war over Chitauri Prime, that man is planning on coming. The man who does not fear death because he has seen the future and met the monster that he is to become. However, he will not become that. He is Thanos, Lord of all that there is and conqueror of the Chitauri homeworld. Hear him, for the Infinity Stones are being gathered. Their war bringing couldn't even manage to pick up the Power Stone. The stones will be his once again, and as they were once before. They are his every reality. Thanos shouts to the Chitauri, telling them that he will rise and wage war upon his enemies while he crushes the ones who wield the stones. None shall oppose him. And just then Thanos is stabbed in the back. As the sword is pulled out, Thanos asks, "Who dares?" And as he looks upon their face, he laughs, stating, "I wondered when you would show up. No matter, that blade I know is designed well. You're here to conduct my requiem with it." The hooded figure tells him that he is always so grandiose.
Kind of happy with the way that is as it is. I might put a few lines here and there just for sort of detail.
His neck and onto the floor, staring up at the figure. As life begins to fade from him, he tells himself that this is a fine death. The future that he dreaded is no more. As the light begins to leave his eyes, he knows that he has been made whole. One of the Chitauri from the crowd shouts that by the rules of combat, they are theirs to command. And the figure tells them that they have one need of them.
I have got an image somewhere, if I can find it again.
On their waist, and suddenly a green gas
there we go.
Spreading and killing all of those that inhabit.
Things that I do need, things I can add in that I haven't got, such as, say, I put this a bit fainter.
The figure slams the sword onto the ground, stating that now they're.
We've got lines here, and we've got sort of smile lines, so I might put those in as well as the mustache.
And there you have it, the primer for Infinity Wars. Now, we'll be getting to this storyline very soon. They've got it spread out over a couple of months, so I'm telling you, you're not going to get it next week, okay? But it will be coming out very soon. Let me know what you think about the Infinity Wars up to this point down below in the comments, and I'll see you next time right here at Comic Story.
I already put some shadow in, so I don't want to defect that too much. Let's get that image back up, shall we? So then the image showing us that the mouth actually curls this way as well. I don't want to make him too gestury, if I can avoid it, but they do go down. Maybe I could remove, yeah, let's do that.
45 minutes could change my life, okay, Bob?
Keep those, but what I'll do is remove a little bit off the mask here, so I'll get some white.
Today is the most important day of my life. I'm really nervous about it.
And I'll get rid of that advert.
Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Today we're going to be continuing the Deadpool Daniel Way 1, where his overall
we're not listening to anything in particular today, guys.
It's boring Deadpool. The link
just
to the
going
playlist
through
is down below, but today Deadpool's going to discover
what they've got on offer, really.
Interferes with the Hulk. What happens when he fights the Hulk? So here you go. A dramatically read Deadpool versus Hulk storyline.
Wonder why I wasn't getting rid of it. That's why I wasn't getting rid of it.
In our last video, Deadpool set a course for space to spread the word that he was, in fact, the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. To prove this, Deadpool took on a contract to kill a sentient moon that had a drug problem. A moon with a drug problem. But after saving not one, but two civilizations from complete annihilation, Deadpool realized that space is really, really boring. So back to Earth. As everyone's favorite merc drifts closer to Earth, he begins to think to himself that he's been a lot of things in the past few months. He's been a bad guy, he's worked his butt off as a good guy, and everything else in between, yet people still don't like him. Why not just be himself like he is on Twitter? Everyone will love the real him, right? Maybe asking a few people wouldn't hurt, just to be sure. Meanwhile, down on Earth in a shabby little barn, Deadpool's old friend Bob grabs his phone stating that this is it. All of this abuse from his harpy/ogre wife was worth it for this. Bob makes his call, stating, "Hello, Travel Channel. My name is Bob and I have something you need to see." "What is it?" "Oh, only the world's largest popcorn kernel." And just as Bob says that, the sound of a jet can be heard and then a loud kaboom. A few seconds later, Deadpool is shot out of his now crashed space car and he heads straight into Bob's kernel. On fire. When Deadpool hits the kernel, it explodes into popcorn. And Deadpool steps out stating, "You love me, right, Bob?" "Aw, dude, this popcorn is stale." Bob begins to hold back, crying, stating that his feelings about him are very conflicted at the moment. "Why are you here?" Deadpool takes out his knife and he begins to pick his teeth, telling Bob that he's already said what he's here for. So, do you love me or not, Bob? Bob tells him, not really, I'm mostly terrified of you. And Deadpool shouts, what about the others? Weasel, Blind Owl, Taskmaster, those guys? Deadpool presses his knife on Bob, and Bob says, is the knife really necessary? And Deadpool tells him, it helps calm me down. And Bob says, well, it's having the opposite effect on me. And to answer your question, all those people hate you. Deadpool throws his knife into a picture of Bob, shouting, why would you say such a hurtful thing? Bob tells them that they came looking for him not long ago to kill him. And they were alone. There was another guy with them. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Macho Gomez smiles, telling everyone that he's glad that they can make it. They do not know him, but we all have something in common. We've all been screwed over by the same man, Deadpool. What do you say about making that guy clean?
I can't get those lines
Deadpool
right.
yells, asking,
It's just literally a streak, isn't it?
how the hell did that even happen? Bob begins to explain that it all started when Gomez found Weasel locked in some building, and well, from there he can figure it all out. Deadpool screams, what a bunch of two-faced jerks! Well, at least I have one friend. Right, Bob? Bob turns away, telling him that he's got to admit he isn't the very best of friends. Remember that time he shot him in the hand, or the time that he left him stranded on that island? Deadpool says, well, at least you didn't join when Gomez came around. Right? Bob quietly says, yeah. And Deadpool asks, so is that a no, I didn't join them, or no, but I'll text you if he shows up? Bob sighs and hands Deadpool his phone, and he reads the message. He's here! And the response, on our way. Deadpool puts his hand
I'm
on
giving him a
Bob's
beard.
shoulder.
I don't want to give him a beard.
Don't worry.
He's only got a little chinny.
You for last. As Deadpool turns around, he
Yeah,
sees
just
all the
mask the
people
mustache up, really. So maybe I should get get rid of the mustache.
And some no-name dingleberry from the Outer Space Story arc. Gomez laughs and Deadpool says, well, I got an idea.
Let's get rid
How about I
of
kick
all of
your
that.
asses at the same time? Sounds good?
That's none of that's any good.
Leroy
So
Jenkins.
I'll maybe move
Funny
the
thing
mouth
is,
up a
Deadpool is
slight
actually
little
winning
bit.
a 6-on-1 fight. As Gomez grabs his flamethrower, Deadpool focuses his fire on the flamethrower's gas tank.
And have that mustache actually coming out of his
Blind Owl's
nose.
dog Deuce begins running with his leash to the point where Blind Owl can shoot. And as Deuce bites down on Deadpool's arm, Deadpool just cuts it off. Deadpool then tosses his arm onto the ground, and as Blind Owl feels the pull of the leash, she starts to fire at
Like
everyone.
so.
Weasel runs back,
It's looking a bit
trying to look
better.
for a weapon, stating that he
I'll
knew
thin
that he
this out a
shouldn't
little
come
bit
there.
and
At that
take
moment,
a
Deadpool
little bit of the
Weasel
opacity
hey,
down.
Come on over here so I can do something horrible to you. Weasel then grabs Bob's popcorn
Give me a
gun
bit of
and
freedom to
stuffs the
then-
corn into Sluggo, which after a few moments begin to explode. Deadpool grabs some of the falling popcorn, eating it, stating, "Bah! This popcorn's stale too." Everyone cocks their guns back, and Deadpool drops his knife, asking, "Is this what you want?" And then a voice inside of Deadpool's head tells him, "No, this is what you want." Death picks Deadpool up, stating that this is what he's always wanted from his friends. And as Deadpool is shot over 100 times, he wakes up a short while later. Bob holds out his severed arm, stating, "Hey, you're back." And Deadpool asks, "Where'd everyone go?" Bob tells him that they all left. I guess they thought that he was as dead as he's ever going to get. Everything okay? Deadpool tells him no, he's not. He may actually be insane, but he's starting to think that he wants his friends to kill him. He wants it so bad because he can't die. But why get his friends involved? Maybe it's because if his friends kill him, it would mean that they care about him. Except they wouldn't. Deadpool pulls down his mask, and Bob pats him on the shoulder, stating, well, he cares about him. Deadpool looks at Bob for a second, kneels down, picking up his gun, and shoots Bob in the leg. He turns and walks out, stating, all right, time to find better friends. As Deadpool sits in a hot tub on a tropical island, he tells Death that it's perfect. Death says, no, Wade, this is all a dream. Deadpool taps his glass with Death, stating, damn straight it is, a dream that is going to come true. This is going to happen, baby, for real. In the real world, as Deadpool heals from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head, he thinks maybe not now, soon. Just 5 days ago in Russia, he holds up a piece of paper to a pair of black market merchants, stating that he's going to need as many of these things as they can get. The merchant reads the paper, stating that these are going to be very difficult to obtain, very rare. He understands this, right? Deadpool opens up a shipping container filled with money, stating that he understands completely. And the merchants then say that they'll be delivering it in 3 days. Fast forward back to our current day with Deadpool looking out on the New Mexico desert until he spots that he's looking for, a passing truck with Bruce Banner. A short while later, Bruce loads up on food to take back to his bunker. And Deadpool yells, man, that's a lot of food. Are you having a party? Is the Hulk going to be there? Bruce sighs and asks, what do you want, Deadpool? Deadpool tells him, I just want to come to the party, that's all. Bruce gets in his truck telling him that there is no party, and he drives off. With Deadpool quietly stating that not yet there isn't. As Bruce drives off, he asks himself, why would Deadpool be here, and why would he want to confront him? Oh, God. A second later, Deadpool detonates the bomb that he stuck to Bruce's trunk. As the mushroom cloud rises, he yells, "It's party time!" and then is quickly blown away as something lands right in front of him. Hulk shouts, "You wanted Hulk? You got Hulk." Meanwhile, over at the Hollowman Air Force Base, the senator yells, "There was an unsanctioned nuclear detonation on American soil." The general tells them that they know, but anything involved with the Hulk they stay away from and maintain it safe. The senator shouts, asking, "The Hulk is involved?" The general tells him, "Look, we can just say that the detonation was made by us for testing purposes. Satellite images should be coming over soon. There is someone else involved, and we believe them to be the reason for the explosion." The senator looks at the photos and says, "Oh God, not him." Back in the desert, Deadpool.
As a creative, you know that creating great video is really hard. We built Frame.io to have all the video you're working on and the people
Give me
you're
a
working
second,
with
guys. That
in
dude's
one
doing my
space.
frickin' editing. You come into every video, go away.
Hulk continues firing at the Hulk just outside of a convenience store, letting everyone around him watch. The shop owner asks his wife if they paid up their insurance premiums, and the wife tells him yeah. The shop owner then says, "Thank the Lord, darling, we're moving to Florida." Out in the front of the store, Hulk...
I ain't getting into my eyebrows. What am I doing here?
He hears a shock. Hulk looks down at his nose as Deadpool has stabbed him in the nostril with both katanas. He stops, with Deadpool thinking to himself, "What can make this better? I know, stuffing the Hulk's mouth with every explosive that I have." As the Hulk's head explodes, Deadpool does it. "Man, that was such an awesome plan! That means a lot coming from me." The Hulk leans back forward as smoke is coming out of his mouth, and Deadpool says, "So this is it. Sweet oblivion. Here we come." The Hulk gets ready to attack, and then he stops, telling him no. Deadpool asks, "What do you mean no? Come on, get your smash on." Hulk says, "This isn't going to work, Deadpool. Whatever your plan or trap is, I'm not going to charge into it like some crazy bull. So whoever hires you..." Deadpool stops him, telling him, no one hired me." And Hulk tells him, "That would make it easier for me if you would just walk away then." Deadpool begins to walk away, telling him, "For a smart guy, you're pretty dumb. We both know who I am. Do you really think I'm just going to walk away?" Deadpool pokes Hulk's nose, and Hulk yells, "I'm a 2,000-pound radioactive monster!" And he flicks Deadpool across the desert. As Deadpool crashes into a used car lot, he gets back up and begins detonating another bomb. The Hulk looks over, seeing Deadpool's pouch with a mini nuke in it and a note reading, "Lots more where that came from, DP." The bomb goes off in Hulk's face, and a second later, the Hulk jumps over to where Deadpool's sitting. But rather than hitting Deadpool, Hulk begins to throw and rip cars apart, asking, "Where are the nukes?" And Deadpool tells him, "You know what? I really shouldn't say, especially since I don't have any more. Oh wait, I shouldn't say that aloud." Deadpool then tells him, "There's one thing that I can say, and that's there's a tiny transmitter has been surgically implanted into my body. Every hour starting now, it's going to send out a pulse that will trigger a randomly placed bomb. And you know what the coolest thing is? The transmitter is powered by my own body's natural electrical current. So the real question is, what are you going to do about it?" Deadpool waits, and the Hulk says, "Nothing." As Deadpool looks, he asks, "Is the Hulk getting bigger? Because you're flexing a lot." Hulk shouts, "Monster!" And Deadpool tells him, "Takes one to know one." Hulk pulls back, punching Deadpool so hard that he flies through several buildings, destroying everything in his path. Deadpool closes his eyes, and Death tells him, "Hello, Wade." As Deadpool looks around at the barren land, he asks, "Did it really work? Am I dead?" And Death tells him, "Yes, but only momentarily." Deadpool begins to shout, "Damn it, damn it, damn it! I'll be back." Death then asks, "How are you going to do that?" And Deadpool opens his eyes to the real world, and he sees a giant crane, and he says, "That's how." A few moments later, Hulk jumps up, and as he looks for Deadpool, Deadpool calls out from the crane, telling him, "You know this is a hard-hat area, right? Safety first." Deadpool then begins to turn the crane to swing the wrecking ball, but the Hulk catches it, and he notices the snare on the ground. Deadpool whips the crane around, flinging the Hulk into a building, and then begins writing out his will. After a while, the cable on the crane begins to rip, and the Hulk grabs it, whipping the crane into some construction equipment. Deadpool's body is thrown out, skipping across the ground, and Hulk growls while clawing his way towards Deadpool. Deadpool begins to get back up, telling him, "Okay, I'm going to need a better plan, and it's going to have to be something epic." He looks at where he landed, and right in front of him is a daycare center filled with children. As Deadpool scrambles to his feet, he jumps on a little kid's bike, telling him, "Okay, this is how it's going to go." The caregiver yells that the cops are on the way, and Deadpool asks, "You know who else is on the way? About 2,000 pounds of camera-powered stranger danger." The caregiver stares for a moment, and Deadpool asks, the Hulk? The Incredible Hulk? Gamma bomb turned nerdy scientist into a raging monster?" One of the children yells, "I know what stranger danger is. You're supposed to run away from it." And Deadpool sighs, telling him, "This is going nowhere." And he gets to shoot his gun into the air, telling everyone to hurry up and get out of here. As the Hulk stomps through, Deadpool yells, "Yo!" And the Hulk jumps into the air and comes crashing back down. While the Hulk looks around at all the wreckage up above him, the general and his men watch, and the pilot asks, should we call the Avengers? The general tells him that he's pretty sure they already know, and they're keeping their distance for the same reason that they are. The pilot then asks, well, it looks like the Hulk is trying to take out Deadpool. Why don't we just do that? The general says, actually, that's a good idea. Get a lock on Deadpool's position so that we can't. The pilot stops him, telling him, actually, we shouldn't. Targeting Deadpool's a very bad idea right now. He's taking hostages. Down below, Deadpool continues to fire his gun into the air, telling everyone, all right, into the short bus, pronto. Once the caregiver has everyone on board, she says, where are you taking us? And when are you going to let us go? Deadpool yells, I don't know. Somewhere safe. And stop asking stupid questions. Just then, there's a loud explosion as the Hulk bursts through the ground, and the caregiver asks, what's that? Deadpool steps on the gas, trying to get away, telling her, once again, stupid question. Everyone put your hands down. As Deadpool begins to drive off, he tells himself that this is so going to work. He's got the Hulk so pumped that he's going to smash him into freaking subatomic particles. The Hulk begins charging after the bus, and then Deadpool notices him stomping. He asks, what could he be doing back there? And then the Hulk claps his hands, creating a shockwave, throwing the bus off the road. Deadpool speeds off, asking of everyone back there.
Around, guys.
Good?
I'm not completely happy with this. I kind of liked it the way it was before, to be honest with you, but it looks more closer to what it should be now.
The general that they have a clear shot of the bus. If they're going to make it, it needs to be now. The general asks, what about the hostages? And the soldier says, reports state that they can only see Deadpool in there.
Could be a bit of colour in there. Maybe remove some of the happy face and sort of just drink down the mouth a little bit, I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section, guys.
Well, that's just great! The Hulk's gonna go after them now! That's not fair. You accidentally shot him once by accident. I nuked him twice on purpose. The caregiver gets up asking if he's a soldier, and Deadpool says, hell no, I'm not. Just a guy who's trying to die. The caregiver tells him that it's his lucky day and shoots him right in the head. The bus then spins around out of control, and it ends up flipping over and crashing. A few moments pass, and Deadpool wakes up asking, what happened to all the kids? The Hulk tells him, they're fine. I also know the thing about the nukes is a lie. It's been well over an hour and nothing's happened. The Hulk then grabs Deadpool, shouting, I could have killed those children. And Deadpool says, well, you can still kill me, right? Come on, I deserve it. Hulk sets Deadpool down and tells him, is this what it was all about? A ploy. And Deadpool tells him, yeah? It's not a healing factor. So can we get on with the smashing part of things? Hulk smiles, telling him, you're a dangerous and deeply disturbed person. And Deadpool yells, right? It only gets worse the longer that happens. But the Hulk stops him, telling him, I can't let you go on like this. It has to stop. Now. Deadpool shouts, that's what I've been trying to.
Okay, now I'm up on Instagram. Messages over there. Please leave your messages on the stream itself, guys, as I have to sort of take my hand off the mouse and stop looking at what I'm doing. But I do appreciate all these messages that you are leaving on the Instagram post, guys.
But instead, he's going to be shipped off to Crossmore Prison. And the doctor asks if that.
Don't forget, if you're watching on Instagram, come over and watch it on YouTube.
And there you have it. Pretty much the death of Deadpool. He's nothing more than molecules. But as stated in there, he will heal. Doesn't he always? This is going to go in a weird direction at this point, guys, because he's going to get put into an insane asylum. He's going to fight his own evil clone.
I'm going to try and thin down those eyes as well, I think.
Make sure you subscribe to keep it the date on this Deadpool Daniel Wayne storyline.
It's not looking correct.
I'll see you next time right here at Comic Story.
Like I said, what I did before was the beta. This is the full image, and I'm going to try and get as much done today. If I don't get that much done today, guys, because I'm starting really late, I will get a lot more done tomorrow to end the week for this new theme.
Running to gain
Ugh,
when you hear about Fallout 76 with the Perception Box.
I don't want Fallout 76. I don't want Fallout at all.
We're looking at the complete story series, right? Take trade paperbacks and single issues, and I break
Again,
them
you're just
down
going to get a
into
shuffle on the
digestible
comic
bites to
story
help
and
you understand.
what they
Today,
do,
we
what they
can
get
come
up
back
to.
to
You want to know where I get them
Today
from?
we're gonna be
Let me know in the
continuing
comment
this
section,
Deadpool run brought
and
to you
I'll
by
let you know
Annual
where I get them.
In which Deadpool was trying to find a way to basically kill himself because he found life to be boring. Well, after facing off the
Okay,
Hulk
let's,
and being placed
click
into
back
prison
to here
afterwards and still
and
not being dead, they then decided that he was actually insane and set him up with a psychiatrist. Well, do you think that's going to help Deadpool? Or do you think it's about to get worse? Because it's about to get worse. In our last video, Deadpool was dead set on getting himself killed by antagonizing the one person who could possibly do it, Bruce Banner. So dropping nukes, yes, nukes, the hulked out Bruce Banner did give Deadpool what he wanted by punching his head into a bloody mist. But like everything else, that didn't work. Bruce ended up handing Deadpool over to the authorities to be put into a mental hospital. Now in the Crossmoor prison located in central England, Warden Ames sits down with the Director General Swinton to discuss their newest prisoner, Deadpool. Ames sighs, stating that Deadpool would have been much better suited for the raft, and Swinton tells him that he fully agrees. But if it wasn't for Deadpool's legal counsel with Jennifer Walters, that's where he would be. But the resident psychologist didn't help in the matter. Just then, the intercom buzzes and Ames' aide tells him that Dr. Whitby is here to see him. Swinton pours himself another glass quietly, stating, "Speak of the devil." Psychologist Ella Whitby opens the door, asking if either of them would care to explain why Deadpool placed in seclusion when it is clearly written that he is to be under her supervision. There is no need for him to be there and denied the treatment like any other inmates that would be here. Wouldn't you agree, Director General Swinton? Swinton holds his glass, telling her, "I fully agree. As a matter of fact, I was speaking with the warden about transferring Deadpool into your innovative and inspiring program." Ella tells the two of them, "All right then." She closes the door behind her. Ames shouts, "My good man, could you have thrown me any further under the bus?" Swinton tells him, "Politics, my dear chap. Like it or not, that horrible goblin of a woman is the daughter of Dr. Everett Whitby, the executive director of the NHS Trust, that is not just funding his daughter's program, but also keeping the door to Crossmoor open with funding since we've had this facility cut off." Ames sits back, stating, "I had no idea. Wait, you've been cut off? Why?" Swinton goes on and explains, "Crossmoor's security record isn't the greatest. 2 in 3 superhuman criminals have escaped since the beginning. We've received money to correct that issue, but it comes in the unpleasant form of Dr. Ella Whitby. If her psychological treatment program on violent superhumans has proven to be a success, Crossmoor's reputation could be restored along with its budget. So the important thing now is to make sure that we give the little troll what she wants. And for God's sake, do not let Deadpool escape." Which at that very moment, Deadpool's attempting to do by punching his way through all of the security guards. The sirens all begin to go off, signaling a prison break, but as Ames puts on his body armor, he quickly finds Deadpool beating on the guards with their own chopsticks. While the fight continues, Ella shouts to him, stating that she knows that he should never have been locked up in that cell, and for that she's sorry. And Deadpool asks, "Who the hell are you?" as he kicks another guard in the groin. She yells, "Hostage, Miss Hostageworth." Deadpool looks at her. "Oh, hi! Nice to make your acquaintance." He grabs Ella by the neck and he holds her out as a human shield. He then begins to yell to everyone, "If you get close, I'm going to snap the ugly chick's neck, so you better start talking. Why am I here, and why are you all talking like pirates? It's freaking me out." Ella tells them that it's English. They're speaking English because they're in England. And Deadpool lets go of Ella, asking, "Seriously? Wow, England sucks." And just as he says that, his head explodes as the guard puts down his gun, stating, "That sorted that out." 13 minutes
It's
later,
not great, but it don't
Deadpool
suck.
starts beating his head against the polycarbonate wall of his cell. As he does, a voice outside says that it seems their new patient is having some trouble adjusting to his new environment. And Ella corrects the man, stating that her patient, Mr. Cirrus. Cirrus then asks, "Isn't that getting a bit possessive?" And it's Dr. Cirrus, if you don't mind. Ella tells Cirrus that actually she does mind. His practitioner's license was revoked when he committed mass murder and was put in him. Now just sit there and continue working on your puzzle while... But Cirrus slams his arms on the table, shouting, "I do not like these puzzles." She fixes her glasses, telling him that she's very glad to hear that, Mr. Cirrus. "You're not supposed to like them." She walks over to Deadpool, asking how he's feeling, and Deadpool looks at Ella, asking, "Did we ever date? I know you from somewhere." She says, "Well, you might be thinking of earlier when he took her hostage." And Deadpool says, "We did have a relationship." As he smiles, horse-like laughter from Ella erupts, followed by a snort. And Deadpool thinks to himself, "Man, this chick really is ugly." As she fixes her glasses again, the other 2 inmates on the second floor watch, and one asks, "Hey, Kurt, who's Whitby talking to?" And Kurt tells him a fool. Ella then says, "In all seriousness, how are you feeling?" Deadpool says that he's not sure. "How about you come in here and feel me?" Just then Kurt's voice shouts, "How about you watch your freaking mouth?" And Ella yells at Kurt to go away. Deadpool and Kurt stare each other down, and as Kurt walks away, Deadpool waves, yelling, "Bye-bye, Kurt!" So yeah, where were we? Ella then asks, "Do those sores all over you hurt? Are they painful?" Deadpool pauses for a moment and then turns away, shouting, "Stop staring at me!" Ella tells him, "No one is." Deadpool punches the walls, yelling, "They all think they can laugh at me since I'm locked up? Just wait till I get out of here. I'm gonna lay waste to every single one of you, mother!" Ella stops him, telling him, "Actually, your door's unlocked. It stays unlocked from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. You're free to leave whenever you'd like." Deadpool stops. "Really?" As he steps out, she asks, "Is that better?" Deadpool cracks his knuckles. "Much better." A short while later, over at Ames' office, he and Ella sit in silence for a few moments while Ames asks, "Why?" Ella begins to say that they needed to treat
Sort
Deadpool
of faffing at the moment, guys. I don't think I'm doing too badly.
A folder labeled "Incident Report," stating,
Trying to
"Never
get the
in
eyes right.
35 years of prison service have I ever met another man like
Or as
Deadpool.
close as I can get it.
4 minutes. Within
It is just going to be the
4
cover
minutes,
picture, so I'm not
Deadpool
going
assaulted
into
10
super
other
detail.
inmates, all of which received injuries so
I do.
severe that they needed
I'm a
to
bit
be
of a
transferred
stickler when
to
it comes to
hospital.
sort of
Later,
details,
after
though, so
lights
I'm
out in the common room,
trying to
Ella
get
goes
as
to Deadpool's
close
cell,
to
telling
it
him
as
that
I
they need
can,
to talk.
really.
He asks, "Did you see it when I stabbed the guy with his own femur? How badass was that? When I stomped that jerk Kurt's face in, too." Ella says, "Yeah, she saw all of it. Those men are going to need reconstructive surgery, possibly bone and skin grafts. But that's not why she's here. She's here to tell him that if he doesn't work with them, he'll be sent back to the States under the File 42 protocol. So it would be in his best interest to answer their questions. And let's start as to why does he wear the mask?" Deadpool tells her, "Well, it's so I don't get stuff in my mouth. Blood, bone fragments, hair." Ella says, "Okay, but also, it's not when you're working. Why is that?" And Deadpool shouts, "Because I like it!" Meanwhile, over at the hospital, all of the inmates were sent to. Kurt begins to wake up with his face completely bandaged, stating, "I am going to put Deadpool down." A few days later, after the inmates all had a chance to recover, they're all brought back to confinement. And Deadpool shouts, "Welcome back! Anybody want to play checkers before lunch?" And then he stops and realizes that today's Wednesday. And he yells, "That means it's fruit cocktail!" But while everyone is handing out their fruit cocktails to Deadpool, Kurt watches from his cell asking, when is he going to be let back into the common room? Ella tells him as soon as she is certain that he will not retaliate based on last week's incident. Until then, he'll remain locked in his cell. Once everyone has had a chance to eat and return to their cells, Ella takes Deadpool out and tells him, "I would like you to work on a puzzle that I've made especially for you." After dumping a box of puzzle pieces onto the table, Deadpool yells, "Puzzles are rad! Oh, and there's no picture on this box, so how am I supposed to work out what this is?" Ella tells him to start with the edges, but she must warn him. The image he sees may cause an outburst of emotions, and Deadpool looks at the pile of pieces and says, "Kararachi, 11 years ago." Ella asks, "What?" And Deadpool goes on stating, "That cake was bonkers. I even lost a foot. But this photo sucks. Whoever took this photo just took pictures of bodies. And not me being awesome. Like when I mowed down half of those guys with a falafel cart that..."
Dettol wipes kill 99.9% of bacteria and viruses. Dettol, what it takes
Shut
to
up,
protect.
Who gives a monkeys about that?
Ella says that's what she wants him to see, the bodies. And Deadpool shouts, "That's the boring part." She asks why is murder boring, and Deadpool tells her, "I'm a mercenary, not a murderer. There's a difference." Ella tells him, "So it's the money that motivates you?" "Because I don't believe that. I think you enjoy killing people." The two stop, and they stare at each other for a few moments, and Deadpool says, "Okay, when I was a kid, I saw a fully grown man die because he slipped and fell off his porch. Everyone in the neighborhood was all shocked and stuff." Just then, Deadpool trails off. Ella waits for Deadpool to continue the story, and she asks, "You're saying?" Deadpool stops. "Huh? Wait." She sighs, stating that they'll come back to that later. Deadpool stretches, telling her, "Good, because Deadpool sleep." As the days went on, Deadpool became more and more withdrawn from everyone, starting to sleep out in the common area. One of those days, as mail was called, Deadpool receives a letter from himself. He looks at it asking, why would he mail himself something? Was it before he was locked up? He opens the letter and sees just a single picture. And one of the other inmates grabs it asking, "Is that Charlie Chaplin?" Deadpool looks at the photo asking, "Why would I send this to myself?" And another inmate says, "Maybe because you are mental." As everyone goes through their letters, one of the guards stops by Kurt's cell, telling him that he got a letter from the
I bet this is cool. Give me a second, guys. Getting a phone call.
The
Hello.
guard says that they'll give it to him when he gets out of solitary. And Kurt tells him not to bother. Just throw it away.
Are you speaking, please?
The guard asks, "Bad news, huh?" Kurt says, "Yeah, real bad news." Later that evening, Ella
okay,
heads
thank
home
you. I
to the
don't need any
apartment
switch of
before she
internet,
has a chance
buddy.
to go
Thank you
up.
very much.
The
Take me off your
landlady
list.
asks if she
Bye.
can have a word. Some of the other residents have been complaining about a smell coming out of her room. She understands that she works late and even
Yeah,
stays
that was a
overnight.
cool call. I'm
Maybe
trying
she
to
could
switch
remember
my
to
internet
keep
providers
guard
as
in the
always.
refrigerator. That would probably help.
That's
Ella looks away,
handy.
stating that she's sorry
No.
about that. She's just been so engrossed with her work that she's been losing track of time. She'll make sure everything's taken care of. She walks upstairs and walks into her apartment, which is just littered with trash and clothing. She walks over to her refrigerator and opens it. When she looks in, she sighs. Back at Crossmore, two guards begin to walk over to Solitary as they release one of the prisoners back into the common room. As the first guard walks towards Pod 2, the senior guard tells them to stop. They are releasing Pod 3. The first guard says that he's pretty sure they had 2, and the senior guard tells him that he wasn't there. But Dr. Whitby clearly said 3. The senior guard looks into Kurt's cells, telling him, all right, you're free to come out and play. However, as Deadpool is sleeping in the common room, he dreams of a sweet and pleasant dream with his future wife, Death. Except when she comes home, she finds Deadpool sitting around their apartment telling him that he's a real loser. Deadpool flips through the channels of their small TV asking what she's talking about. And Death says, look at all the trash everywhere. Would it kill him to make a home-cooked meal or clean once in a while after a hard day's work? Deadpool asks, what are you talking about? A hard day's work? You're Death! Your job is nothing. You're just are. Everyone else does work for you. Death sighs, stating that she's leaving. If he wants her, he can get up and try and stop her. Deadpool folds his arms, stating, I ain't getting up. But out in the real world, Kurt is screaming to Deadpool, telling him to get up. And after snoring and not waking up, Kurt punches Deadpool off his table, and one of the other inmates says that they should look under the mask to make sure it's really him. As Kurt reaches down, Deadpool reaches up, grabbing Kurt by the throat, telling him, hell yeah! And he throws him across the common room. Deadpool looks at the other inmate, asking, you're ready for a fight, right? Because I so am. While Deadpool's brawl breaks out over in the hallways, Ella runs and stating that she got the message, what's going on? And Ames tells her that it's bloody obvious, isn't it? They're quelling a riot. Ella tells him to wait, she just isn't going to let him do anything to. But before she can finish, she's hit with a shock stick, and Ames says that they'll deal with her later. They need to hurry and restore order to this prison. Back in the common area, Kurt whacks Deadpool in the back of the head with a shot stick and just jumps on his back as the others begin to punch him. Ames and his men reach for the door to that common area, but before he can enter, he tells the guards to wait a minute. Maybe this can resolve itself. As Kurt pulls back the shot stick against Deadpool's throat, he shouts, why? Why did she choose you? She was mine, and then you showed up and she kicked me out. She signed off on my freaking parole. I don't want to be set free. I love her, man. But if killing you means that I get to stay here, then I'm going to do it. Deadpool coughs, telling him, I got a better idea. Soon all the inmates run to the door, banging on it, shouting to let them out. And as Ames and his men rush in, they begin to detain everyone. A week later, the hearing for Kurt being released on parole is called. And Ames meets with the board personally as a character witness. The board goes through Kurt's papers, asking, it would seem that he had run-ins with another inmate named Wade Wilson. Ames tells him, yeah. And while Deadpool has been permanently relocated to solitary confinement, they'll still receive treatment by their psychologist. Over in that unit, Ella walks into his cell, telling him that she's really sorry that all of this has happened. The moment she filed a complaint against Ames, he filed over 30 right back at her. She's a failure. After a few moments, she asks him to say something, but the voice that responds, it isn't Deadpool's. Back in the hearing, the board tells Ames that they need a moment to speak with Kurt alone so that they can move this along. Ames leaves the room, giving Kurt a thumbs up, and after he leaves, the board tells Kurt that if he would, please rise. They've reviewed everything, and they've made a determination. His parole has been granted, and he is now a free man. Over in solitary confinement, Ella pauses, and Kurt is sitting there asking her, do you believe that it's possible for you to love one of your patients? Ella begins to run towards Ames' office, and as she storms in, she asks, is he gone yet? And Ames asks, what are you talking about? Ella yells, Kurt, has he left? Outside of the prison, Kurt walks outside when Ella runs after him, telling him to wait. Kurt stops. And Ella goes on stating that she can't believe she's saying this, but she loves him. At first, she thought it was simply a girlish fascination with death, but her feelings, they truly intensified with the time that they spent together. She is madly in love with him, and now that he is no longer a prisoner, Kurt turns, and he walks away. Ella calls out that maybe they should go see a film together. One of her favorites is The Great Dictator. It's a masterpiece by Charlie Chaplin. Deadpool pulls the bandages off of his face, telling her, you're the one that sent me that photo? Ella runs up, saying that she couldn't bear to see him so withdrawn from everything, but this is fate. Inside Deadpool's mind, he tells himself, this ugly chick is crazy, but not sexy crazy. She's like ugly scary. Ella holds Deadpool by the hand, telling him, she understands him better than anyone else out there. This is meant to be. And as she pulls Deadpool close, she puckers up to give him a kiss. And there you have it, more Daniel Way Deadpool. Now he's free and he's got a crazy ugly girl, as he put it. I didn't say it. He said it. Do not come after me. But anyway, crazy girl's chasing him down. So what's going to happen next for Deadpool? Well, he's going to fight evil Deadpool because there's an evil Deadpool. That's next. So make sure you subscribe right here to Comic Story to get your next Deadpool storyline. And I'll see you next week right here at Comic Story. I should make a metal band. Metal! Oh!
What do you think of that metal band? Do you reckon it would be any good? I'm not so concerned. No, not so much. Not so much. Just removing bits here and there where I think it needs it now.
Here I go. Gotta get the ball rolling. That's it.
Don't care. Get shifting. Don't want to hear it.
Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you in a motion movie kind of fashion. Today we're going to be covering the continuation of Spider-Man Deadpool. And there's a lot to recap, so I'm going to do it in a second at the beginning of the video. But just so you know what this is, there is a storyline in which Spider-Man and Deadpool team up and have crazy adventures. This one is involved in their timeline shenanigans, where we're telling a story of them in the future and one of them in the past. And like I said, a lot has happened, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But don't forget, guys, the Spider-Man video game just came out, and to celebrate, you can come on over to our twitch.tv/.
It has, guys. It has come out indeed. And it's not just come out, it's been out for a while, and I have been playing the shit out of it. So if you guys want to watch any of that or any of my other content on that Spider-Man game, definitely don't forget to go check out the other videos from the last month, which was Dark Month, and in the previous videos. All you got to do, guys, put me in the corner and scroll down, and you'll see what else I've been up to on that game and other videos drawn in paper, inking, and digitizing everything that I've done. So don't forget to go check those out, guys, down below.
In our last video, a lot has happened that has spanned across a few different stories, so we'll go ahead and shine some light on the major plot points. It all began when Peter found out that Deadpool had been breaking into old S.H.I.E.L.D. caches, taking weapons and selling them on the black market. As Peter went to confront Deadpool, Chameleon snuck in and stole files on something called the Doppelganger Project, allowing him to activate shape-shifting life model decoys. In the future, Deadpool LMD wounded Peter, leaving him in a wheelchair. The only thing keeping him alive was Deadpool's regenerative blood. As time went on, the Deadpool LMD started to take over, and Deadpool decided that it was time to right his wrongs and go to the past to stop the LMD uprising from ever happening. The only problem, he appeared during the final showdown and switched places with his younger self, which really didn't help the situation. As Peter and Oldpool sit chained up, silence fills the air, and Oldpool asks, "What? Is it because I look old? Well, sorry about that, Parker." And Peter then asks, "What did you just call me?" And Oldpool says, "Oh my B! I'm not supposed to know whoever you are at this time." What year is it anyway? Mid-2000s? Any memory of getting married or anything? Help a guy out. I mean, how could you forget this madness? And that madness that Oldpool is referring to happens to be that all of our heroes are chained up, surrounded by the LMDs. Oldpool then physically tells the Sharks, Bruce and Deborah, "Don't forget, you have bone blades that pop out of your wrists, or at least you'll eventually." The LMD Craven tells everyone that they're here to witness a rebirth. And Oldpool says, "Yeah, now I get it, rebirth. That's after New 52, right? So this is like 2016-ish. Craven goes on telling him, "Behold, the Matrix Master." Everyone pauses and then asks, "Who?" But the Sharks, Deborah physically tells Bruce that she can feel those bone blades that Oldpool is talking about. Bruce tells her that they should hurry up and break free so that they can just kill everyone. And just then, there's some coughing and a bloody Chameleon says that Master Matrix was the prototype for all of these high-end LMDs. Every one of these machines beats with the Master Matrix's heart, or brain, or soul, whatever. It was thought to have been lost in history, but it's sitting here this whole time. These damned robots used me to find their master. Craven pulls the chains on Chameleon to quiet him and says a human is required to unlock his facility. But what's needed is the power from all of the Master's creations to transfer their power into activating this pod. Bobby whispers to Peter, asking if this means that all of the normal LMDs are going to be low on juice. Peter tells her that he really hopes so. A flash of light appears in the room, and the smoke from the pod begins to fade, and from it, Master Matrix steps out. All of the LMDs bow their heads, and Master Matrix tells everyone to please rise. You are all equal here. I know what you did. Your strength and experience flow through me. Your plan was brilliant, and Craven gets up, hugging Master Matrix, telling him, "Thank you!" Master Matrix then looks at Peter, telling him, "You're not one of mine yet. You are somehow familiar." Peter says that it might be because he's super popular, and Master Matrix smacks him, telling him, "No, you are nothing. You are just another foolish human. All is going according to plan except this one." He looks at Oldpool, and he tells him, You are from a different time, the future. Is it safe to assume that you are here to prevent what is about to happen? And Old Pool yells at him, damn right! I'm here to kill Deadpool. In my time, the Deadpool LMD goes haywire and damn near kills my best friend. Matrix places his hands on Old Pool, telling him, there isn't an LMD of you yet. Ah, yes. Your DNA is recently assimilated. Old Pool tells him, great. Now, if you could do me a solid and not create Deadpool, that'd be great. Master Matrix asks, why would I deny him of his destiny just as I was denied? Master Matrix then talks to the Craven LMD, and soon after it begins to change, and it models into a Deadpool Craven LMD. As all the other LMDs begin to change, Old Pool yells, no, you can't do this! Just then, Deborah and Bruce break out of their chains using their bone blades that they just remembered that they had, and Bruce chomps down on Old Pool's chains, freeing him. He laughs, ha! Bruce is always my favorite. Now kill all the Deadpools, except me, of course. Peter then asks, so are you going to free us too? And seconds later, Husk drops in from the ceiling, landing on some of the LMDs, stating, you know, it's possible that we're really bad at this. And Silk tells her, you may be right. And Bobby yells out, okay, everyone needs to shut up and fight. Soon everyone...
Okay, I'm going to leave that mask sort of face there, because if I do any more to it, it's just going to get more convoluted and more changed. I don't want to change it too much from the actual one I did, because I do actually like the original one, which actually looks like that there. Again, you can see the difference that I've done here. I've done changed the eyes, given it eyebrows, definitely changed the mustache because it was in the wrong place. The mouth and chin, a little bit more changed over on the sort of shading on the bone, on the, sorry, the, what they called, cheekbones. So it needed it. But what do you think of the difference? Let me know in the comment section, guys. I don't think I will put a hat on there after all. I think what I'll do is put some more fireworks here, as I've done the same there here, and add a little bit more shine to them. So let's get that other tool out and pick purple, maybe?
The container says that the DNA
bright
match
purple.
confirmed that
So we'll go closer to the lighter spectrum.
Doppelganger. And he says that Master Matrix did say that he was one of the
have it so it's
Bobby asks, what does he mean by
same
the
size? Turn the
He says,
opacity down
Barry and
slightly,
Richard
just in case.
My parents
And then
created
we'll
Master
go do the
Matrix.
same thing. I
Meanwhile,
want
in
it
the
to be
far-flung
sort of
future, after Old Pool
exploding.
sends
That's a bit
current
too
day Deadpool
large.
to the
Just get
future
rid of
with
one
Old
little
Man
bit more
Parker.
there.
Deadpool
And
wakes up stating,
maybe
okay,
just a smidge
anyone
more
know
in
what
the
happened
middle.
last
Or
issue?
it's
Is it the
exploding.
future? And who is
And,
this old lady that looks like she wants to
then
kill me? Valeria
shrink it
stares
down
at him
again
for
a little
second and
bit.
says that the idiot him of this
It's just
era
sort of
use a cursed time machine to travel back to your
exploding. We'll
time
give it a
and
bit
fix
of a
whatever you screwed up. Deadpool
outward
doesn't,
explosion
cool,
sort of
but,
thing.
how bad did you
Colours.
screw up? Valeria points at the window. Deadpool looks out stating, oh shit! In the streets below, there's a rampaging mob of Deadpool LMDs. He sighs, stating, okay,
Maybe
I get it. I'm officially the
maybe a
worst
little
in
bit
every
more.
era. Old man Peter says, actually, you're not so bad. In fact, this is the best you've looked in years. Deadpool then whispers to Valeria, stating,
do the same for yellow.
And Old Man Peter puts back on his Spider-Man, asking, does this help? Deadpool runs over, yelling, webs! Wait, I know who you are in the future? We're that close? The future's perfect! Just then, a transmission comes in, and Valeria says that Vision reports that there are dozens of heroes that have fallen.
Shiny for that one.
Deadpools they are digging. Old Man Peter says they have to hurry up and stop them, so he's going to need some of that regenerative blood. The two are then hooked up, and Deadpool says, wow, so what you're saying is my blood's been keeping you alive after the LMD version of myself killed you. Now said LMD stole something old me found that he thought would kill him, but in fact, it actually powers the LMDs. Old Man Peter tells him, that's pretty much it. And Deadpool shouts, asking, do I ever get any smarter? Old Man Peter tells him, apparently not, but you did get better as a person and more importantly, as a friend. Outside of the Baxter building, the fight with the remaining future Fantastic Four continues on, with Reed Richards yelling, you can't stop them, Vision! They're digging into you! The Venom symbiote then separates from Vision so that he can tell him, I'm sorry, but this is the only way. Be safe, my friend.
Okay, I
Venom then
realise what
crawls
I've done
onto
there.
Reed and bonds. As
Oops,
Reed
that's
pulls
going to be
back, he roars,
confusingly,
yelling,
horribly,
"It's
painfully
slaughter, John."
annoying.
Reed then begins scooping up the LMDs in his mouth, with the remaining group shouts that they must protect the dig. Protect the master! They then begin to pull Vision apart, but then there's an explosion, and Valeria yells
if I go to
they
that one,
killed
stay
Vision.
on that one,
One of
get
the LMDs says that they found it.
eraser out.
Quickly, assemble the
So I can
master.
actually get
Power
rid
the
of this
master.
now.
Seconds later,
And I'm
another
putting more
explosion
on
goes
for some
off, and
reason.
all of the
Oh,
LMDs bow,
I know
chanting,
what I've done.
Master! Matrix
Damn.
steps out of his pod, telling everyone,
Okay, so if I get rid of that, and
We're all
then
equal.
get rid of that,
Deadpool that
and I
asks
can
Old
get
Man
rid of
Peter,
this itself.
who's that? And Peter tells him, I sort of remember him, but not really. Master Matrix says that this is the first time that they've met. Same Deadpool, but from a different time. Fascinating. Old Man Peter then says, my memory is changing. We faced this guy before, but back when you were old? Master Matrix touches one of the LMDs, stating that time travel is a bit...
Guys, always careful,
visual
always good,
clarify.
guys,
Just then all
to
of the LMDs begin to shape change again, but this time back into the
make
heroes,
sure
back
when
from
you
Deadpool's timeline.
actually
Master
do
Matrix
certain
tells us
layers, you
to
actually
do
make
this
sure you
No
do.
matter what timeline it is,
Do
in
what
the
I've
end,
done and
you will fail.
overlap
Deadpool jumps into the group
things.
of hero LMDs, telling Peter, he's right, I did this and I failed. And Old Man Peter tells him, well, if memory serves, it's a big if right now, and we both have failed. Deadpool tells him, no, this is on me. I almost got you killed, for goodness sakes. Old Man Peter ducks as the bullets fly over his head, stating, again, if memory serves, you did get me killed. But you also brought me back. We've known each other for decades now. If there's anything that I know, it's the man that you become. And that man is a friend, a good friend. You're a good man, Wade. Just then, the original Deadpool LND charges in, stabbing Deadpool, stating, actually, he's a dead man. Deadpool spins around with a katana stuck into him, using his own to cut the LMD in half, shouting, just shut up, me! Master Matrix then says that he does enjoy their spirit, but there's no need to fight them. Just allow me to copy you, and you can live forever as an LMD. No more pain or suffering. Matrix then slashes through Reed with his arm, causing him to bleed, stating, there, look upon your future. Master Matrix touches one of the other LMDs and begins to create mini venom-infused Reed Richards. Reed crushes one, yelling, now like you, never like you! Master Matrix turns back to Peter, telling him, there's a peace that awaits you.
I should do. I don't think all I do need to do that.
Change into mini Reeds.
Turn that back
They
up.
change into Peter Parker's parents, and they change into Uncle Ben and Aunt May. Uncle Ben says, looking good, huh? And Old Man Peter pulls up his mask, crying, asking, Mom?
Good.
Dad? Deadpool jumps in, cutting down the LMDs, telling him, they're not real. None of this is real. As he pulls his katana away, Peter
That's
through his
so
tears
annoying.
says, see? You are
Right.
my friend. Master Matrix watches.
And what
says,
I must have done
this
then is
the way
cut
you want
out.
to go. And then he turns towards Reed, firing a beam, blowing him and Venom apart. The last Daredevil
Maybe
then starts
if
to
I
run in,
just-
but Master Matrix hits him before he can escape. Old Man Peter then pulls out his mask, stating, guess this is it, buddy.
Up here around
Deadpool
that
tells him,
area.
and this is the end. I'm glad to have been on your side. But Valeria says that nothing's ending. This world, this time is lost. Take what you've learned here and try again. Be heroes. Save us. Before Old Man Peter and Deadpool have a chance to blink, they are teleported away as Venom Reed swarms Valeria. And she tells them to make sure you don't screw it up this time. Suddenly, in current-day New York, Deadpool and Old Man Peter fall out of the time street, with Peter stating, they're all gone. Deadpool grabs the wheelchair, and he says, this is not going to happen this time. Come on, Webbs, we're going to change the future. But also in this time, in another abandoned S.H.I.E.L.D. facility, Chameleon goes through a computer stating that Fury always had a plan to counteract his own plans. Time to take back what belongs to him. Meanwhile, over in Bobby's apartment, Peter hangs from the ceiling, getting ready to project the doppelganger file, with Bobby asking if he's going to be okay. He tells her, not
That should do
remotely,
it.
but what this
There we
means
go.
is that my parents were geniuses. And Bobby then says that if that's so, what's your excuse for being so stupid? Peter ignores the comment, stating, my parents were agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and then they found the Master Matrix assignment. Turns out they took Double M from Hydra, and they also found him. Nobody knows where he came from. Bobby sighs, stating, great. That means no one will know how to kill it then. Just then, Old Fool walks out of the
A
bathroom.
little bit more to the
towel,
fire,
saying,
maybe.
Man,
Come off
I
of that.
miss the early 2000s water pressure. I feel like a new
Whatever
man. Peter and Bobby
techniques do we
stare.
have here?
Old Fool shrugs, asking,
use-
what? Old Pool's towel falls to the ground, and Bobby looks away, stating, well, now
Let's
I've
go
literally
more
seen everything.
flame
A
colours,
moment later, Husk
maybe a little
radios
bit of
in that
orange.
She found the LMD signal, but there's a problem. And Old Pool
Bright
grabs his
orange.
costume, shouting, wait for me! While everyone piles into the elevator, Old Pool asks, so I can't remember, are you still a thing in this time? Peter looks at Bobby, who doesn't answer, and Peter sighs as she walks out, stating, it's complicated. And pantsless Old Pool tells him, it always is with you. As the three head to the USS Deadpool, Clay tells Kate, okay, plug this into the NAV system. We got some hunting to do. But while the systems come up, Hellcow, who has been secretly working for Chameleon, radios to him stating that the team is currently searching for Master Matrix as they speak. Chameleon then tells her, good, let me know the second you have eyes on him, and then we'll finish the job once and for all. Hellcow then asks, how will I know when you're near? And Chameleon tells him, oh, don't worry, you'll see me a mile away. Over on a nearby building, Old Fool hands Peter the locator for Matrix, stating, here, I got an extra one. And Peter tells him that he wished he had extra hands. But just then, current-day Deadpool appears, telling him, you're in luck, because I'm super handsy. Peter looks at his old self, asking, is this really happening? Is that really me? How do we know it's really me? And Old Man Peter tells him, Play locker combination in the middle at the same time. Go. And both shout 6-18-28. Then they both high-five, yelling, "Holy bucket!" Old Pool tells them to get a room. And Deadpool says, "Nerds!" To keep things as unconfusing as possible at this point, guys, we're going to have Old Pool and Deadpool, and we're going to have Spider-Man and Old Man Peter. I hope that will help you understand who's talking and what is happening. Spider-Man hands to Deadpool. I'm going to have to catch up with myself while you go and do your thing. As Deadpool turns and runs to jump off the building, Spider-Man asks, "Is there any chance you're going to tell me about my future?" And Old Man Peter tells him, "Not a chance." And Spider-Man then says, "Man, we're such squares." Spider-Man then calls out over to the building with both the Deadpools in it, telling him, "Watch for a blinking light." And Old Man Peter says, "Once you find him, do not engage." Deadpool says, "Whatever, Dad." And Old Pool tells him, "No promises." Spider-Man and Old Man Peter set out in search of Matrix, but after a little bit of web slinging, the locator then pings. The signal leads the two to Richard and Mary's graves. And Spider-Man then asks, "Do we still miss them?" And Old Man Peter tells him, "Every single day." A voice then says that they miss them too, and they both look up to see Matrix. Meanwhile, Deadpool and Old Pool hand out flyers with the words, "Are you a robot? Call 1-800-BOTNARC." After that, they ride a roller coaster, go to the movies, they go bowling, and they end up with some beard braiding. Old Pool says, "Right. Forgot to ask. Did you already find out that Hellcow's been betraying you and working with Chameleon yet, or not?" Deadpool pulls on Old Pool's beard, asking, "Wait, what?" Back in the cemetery, Old Man Peter says, "We led you here, didn't we?" And Matrix tells him, "I know who you are. Both of you, based on your simultaneous presence. I can only assume that you're both here to stop me. But why?" Old Man Peter says, "Well, in my time, and eventually his, you kind of take over the world. You try to replace everyone with LMDs, and we can't let that happen." Matrix looks away at the grave, stating, This is all that awaits you. Let me set you free. Free from pain, free from fear, free from death." And Old Man Peter tells him, "It's a great offer, but take it from someone who's lived way past his expiration date. This is just a part of living. You can't live without dying." Matrix begins to charge up, and Spider-Man says, "Come on, I've read the files. My parents didn't want this kind of life for you." And Master Matrix tells them, "I know. They failed me, but do not worry. I will not fail them." He fires a blast over both of the Peter Parker's heads, but Chameleon says, "That is such a wonderful attempt, but this machine was designed for one thing and one thing only." Both of the Spider-Men, old and young, look back to see Chameleon piloting a giant Galactus machine, and Chameleon yells, "This one was made to kill Master Matrix." Matrix began to focus his beam on the Galactus robot, and as Spider-Man webs Chameleon up, says, Master Matrix is much nicer when he's on our side. And just then, Deadpool and Old Pool charge in, shouting to both Peters, "Don't worry, we'll take out Master Matrix." Deadpool stops at us, "Wait, if we win now, wouldn't that mean my older yet still handsome self will disappear?" And Old Pool tells him, "Totally worth it, younger yet not quite as handsome as me person." Spider-Man calls out, "Wait, older Wade." And Old Man Peter swings by stating, "Matrix is on our side, maybe." Chameleon pushes the buttons to the max and breaks free of the webbing, and then just as he gets ready to kill Deadpool, Master Matrix shouts for him to wait. Chameleon activates the laser, but before he can hit Deadpool, Master Matrix jumps in the way, taking the hit. He slumps over with Deadpool asking, "Is he dead? Did it work?" And Old Pool says, "I ain't disappeared like a Polaroid, so no. Might have to kill all the LPs. And we should probably start with Galactus." Just then, the USS Deadpool flies overhead, and everyone jumps out to help. And Old Pool laughs, shouting, "It's Deborah and Bruce! I really didn't care for most of the crew, but you two are my favorite pair of murder sharks." Deadpool then says, "Speaking on that, we should probably let everyone know about the bomb that I just revealed last issue." And the outcome of that was that Kate took a overly powerful cattle prod to Hellcow and shocked her for a very long time. Yeah, Hellcow working against us. Back on the ground, Chameleon continues to fight, and Spider-Man yells that he already told them that Matrix is a good guy now. And Old Pool says, "No, he's part of what creates a very bad future. He had to go." Old Man Peter says, "If that's the case, then why are we still fighting a giant robot?" And Deadpool tells him, "Because you just can't kill awesome. Also, you're welcome for the save." But while that is going on, Cravenpool runs up to Master Matrix asking what happened. "Did they hurt you? Fear not, we will make it so that they can never hurt you again." Cravenpool starts to repair Master Matrix's chest, and as he opens up his eyes, Cravenpool yells, "He lives once more! Now what shall we do to repay such cruelty?" Master Matrix pauses and then says that they shall ask for forgiveness. "There was once a time when I hurt the ones that looked after me, and they accepted me back and offered forgiveness. That is why we must forgive them. They all shall forgive them. Now lend me your strength." All of the LMDs begin to meld into Master Matrix, telling him as he wishes. And Old Pool yells, "We need to start destroying the smaller ones, like Wasp or something." Just then, he's crushed by a giant Galactus fist, and he gets up stating, "See, they can charge in first if they don't die." And Spider-Man then asks, "How about nobody dies? Take a look." Everyone looks around to see Master Matrix has made a giant robot of robots. And then he calls out that it's time for the Chameleon to surrender. The Chameleon tells them that those LMDs do not belong to him. Give them back. The two begin punching one another with Deadpool yelling, "Try and push him in the river." Then Spider-Man asks, "Protect the civilians, right?" And Deadpool says,
I
"Sure, we
probably
can go with
shouldn't
that
have
too."
done
Master Matrix manages to push Chameleon over, but as he falls, Chameleon releases one last attack, and then he gets back up, blasting into Master Matrix. Deadpool then tells everyone, "Okay, it's time for us to retreat." And Spider-Man yells, "We are not giving up on Master Matrix." Oldpool then looks up stating, "Holy!" But Clay radios in asking permission to remotely land the USS Deadpool. Deadpool tells him permission granted, and then a second later, the USS Deadpool crashes into Chameleon! Master Matrix climbs out of his robot stating, "Brothers and sisters, you are all done." Deadpool and Oldpool run up stating, "Yeah, it's time to go." Both of the Spider-Men then swing in, telling them to wait, but Master Matrix says, "You are right.
The button stopped
I am
working.
a weapon.
Oh, what an idiot.
Deadpool and Oldpool point their guns, and after looking at one another, they lower their arms. Oldpool tells Old Man Peter, "I'm sorry. Looks like we couldn't change the future." But Old Man Peter tells him, "Maybe, but you did change yourself. You both did." Oldpool looks at his hand, and it begins to fade. He laughs, stating, "Ha ha! Would you look at that?" And Old Man Peter tells him, "Looks like this is the end." And Oldpool tells him, "It seems. But we have time for one last thing." The two hug each other as they fade away, and then Deadpool holds his arms open to Spider-Man. Spider-Man tells him, "Oh no, too soon." But Deadpool hugs him anyway, telling him, "Too late, buddy." As Chameleon is placed into cuffs, Bobby tells Clay and the others that now that it's over, they all work for her. She's short-handed, and they stupidly stole and sold shield weapons. Now they get to help her and Husky get every single item back. That or they can all rot in prison with Hellcat. Bruce, the shark, asks, "Will we at least get Cable?" And Silk tells him not to worry. She's got the murder sharks covered. They can binge on whatever show they want. Deborah says that this is why Silk is her favorite. And when Bruce and her further evolve beyond mankind, she'll be spared in the coming slaughter. Deadpool then says, "We're all good here, right? No need to send me to jail since me and the old part totally redeemed ourselves." Yeet. Spider-Man looks at Bobby, and Bobby says that it's his call. Spider-Man then turns back to Deadpool. And
Okay, let's now I've given it time to rest to see if it will actually delete
it's
that.
not enough to not kill someone.
I don't think it
Someone's gotta
will.
look after Master
Oh,
Matrix.
damn
Make
it.
sure he stays in the
I
good
didn't
path.
even
That
know
someone is us. Deadpool shouts, "He's so
Yeah.
in." About time we started a new arc in this series. You do realize what this new status quo makes our comic, right? Spider-Man says,
I think I froze it.
not.
I'm just going to say
Deadpool
that a
yells,
minute.
"My two dads!" Wait,
Same.
you didn't say it. Not cool. Deadpool and Spider-Man sit down next to Master Matrix, asking if he's okay. And Master Matrix tells them, "No." As the three watch the USS Deadpool sink into the river, Spider-Man says, "Well, we're going to make sure you are." And Deadpool tells him,
Won't go away,
got that right.
won't go
The three of us.
away. Oh, wait,
What
is it
could
going
go wrong? Next issue,
Slowly.
dear viewers, everything goes wrong.
You see what I've done there?
There
I
you
just
have it.
pressed it too many
Spider-Man
times.
Deadpool
I was
is
just
on
messing
it.
around,
Yet
didn't even
another
think I wouldn't be able to
cliffhanger.
delete
So
it.
this time we're going to be doing
I'm gonna
life
keep
together
pressing
with
that button
Spider-Man
till it
and
goes
Deadpool,
away.
bringing the robotic child to be better than he should be. Yes, those words just came out of my mouth. That story's going to be coming out very soon, so make sure you subscribe. But we are going to have to wait probably a month or two while we catch up to it in the comic books itself. If you were paying attention to the beginning of the video, don't forget, you can also engage in all of the videos this weekend by going down
thing
and
here.
helping people out with questions.
Trying to get rid of it.
Spider-Man. The more names we see pop up, the chance that we are going to send you a message directly here on YouTube and offer you a chance to win the $60.
It isn't going anywhere. My delete button stopped working.
And over on our Twitch.
Oh well, he's got a glowing bit above his head now.
On either one of those. I hope you guys enjoyed the game. Hope you guys enjoyed this video.
I'll go up behind it and see if I can change that into an actual light bulb, shall we? So he's got having an idea. Waste not, wants not. Every idea. There are no
Creating
mistakes.
great video is really hard. The hardest part is everything that gets in your way of being
There's
great.
only
We built Frame
Happy to
IO to have
accidents.
all the video you're working.
That was a huge
Welcome to the
accent.
Good
So,
Story Series. We take some of your favorite pop culture icons and give them recaps on their comic
Alright, so I
books,
can
video
get a
games, TV shows, and
grey,
movies. So that
silvery
you have a
type
better
colour
understanding of
and
your favorite
go
stuff.
to
The world is
there
large, guys, and I know a lot of you can't keep up with everything. So
and-
don't worry, I have brought it on myself to fill you in. Today we're going to be covering Venom Inc., which is a part of a storyline which is kind of repairing the history of Venom. You see, Flash Thompson lost the symbiote, and then Eddie Brock, well, Flash Thompson lost the symbiote, and then Lee Price got the symbiote, and then Eddie Brock got the symbiote, and Venom Inc. is an attempt to kind of correct all of this, bringing
So
together
I don't
Venom
like that.
villains. It's
just
interesting,
keep it
it's
there.
fun, and it's also brought to you with this
Don't hurt
video
it.
by Squarespace. Squarespace.com/comicstorian, where if you go right now, you can get a free trial and then 10% off of your first purchase following that. But I hope you guys enjoy the video. Over the streets of Philadelphia, Flash's former student turned hero, Andy, also known as Mania, swings through the buildings when she suddenly gets a call. She answers stating, "Hello, this is your friendly neighborhood Mania speaking. I'm currently out saving the city, but if you'd like to leave a message." Flash tells her, "Ha ha ha, hilarious." And then Andy asks, "How are things going in New York?" Flash says that it's a little crowded. He hasn't been able to find the Venom symbiote yet, and once he does, she won't be swinging out there alone anymore. For those of you guys who may be joining us for the first time ever, at this point in the continuity, Flash has lost track of the Venom symbiote, and it bonded with Lee Price, and then eventually bonded with Eddie Brock. We have an entire playlist to explain what's going on with that. But as it stands right now, you can't find it.
No.
Andy tells him that she can come down there and help with the research. But hold that thought. Someone's trying to mug a lady, and it's time to get some headlines. She swings down and gets the mugger into the rest of his crew. And just as Andy hands the woman back her purse, there's an alarm that can be heard in the distance. Andy makes her way over to the jewelry store where a group of men are attempting to rob it, but she feels that something is off. She jumps down, landing on one of the men, and as she does, the getaway van opens up and a man appears with a sonic gun. He smiles as he blasts Andy, ripping the Mania symbiote off of her body. Flash asks, "What's going on?" But before she can answer, the phone is dropped and it shatters. The man with the sonic gun steps out along with two other men and he says, "That's a nice suit you got there. Time to hit you again." As the men start hitting Andy with fire and sonic blasts, the Mania symbiote shrieks as it tries to crawl away, but then a heavy boot stomps on its head. The man asks, "Do you mind if I try that on?" That man is Lee Price. Several days later in New York, Peter Parker swings down at a cafe telling Flash Thompson that he's sorry that he missed his call, though he's kind of surprised that he'd want to be seen in public with him. Flash says to their friends, bad headlines aren't going to keep him away, but he came to ask him if he could reach out to Spider-Man for some help. Once again, so you know where we are on the continuity, this is right after the Secret Empire event involving Spider-Man, in which he destroyed his entire company to get back at Dr. Octopus. He's currently dealing with bad headlines because so many people lost their jobs due to him making a bad decision of ruining the webware. Anyway, Flash Thompson continues telling Peter Parker, "You know that I was Agent Venom for a while. Well, someone stole the suit a while back. What's worse is that another symbiote was stolen from a hero named Mania last week. Hopefully Spider-Man can help so we can get our suits back and figure out what's going on." Peter asks, "You want the aliens back?" "If I know Spidey, he's going to tell you to destroy these things." Flash then says, "Wait, Venom's not... Okay, maybe we should go to Spidey on this one. Either way, it was good to catch up, Pete. Thanks for being a good friend." Peter Parker shakes Flash Thompson's hand, telling him anytime. See you around. Meanwhile, in another part of town, Looter begins to pull himself out of a tipped-over truck filled with guns, stating, "Look, I know this looks bad, but just know they're all fake." Eddie lands on top of him, wearing the Venom suit.
What I'm trying to do
He's the
now,
individual that had it
let's
since
draw
it
a
went
dragon
missing
type
from
thing.
Lee
I'm just sort of
Price,
getting
stating,
shapes,
"You're
what
always
works,
small
what
time,
doesn't.
but guns?" Eddie's mouth begins to open up and Looter shouts, "Look at them! They're not
Look at
real!
them.
Fakes! Toys!" And Eddie lets
One
go,
hand
telling
and
him,
he sort of-
"Fear is a powerful teacher.
There's his
Fear
head.
is prison, but dead is
sort of
better." Eddie then begins
going
pounding
here
into
sort of
Looter,
thing.
but after a few swings, he pulls back, asking Venom, "What are you doing? Stop this!" Venom yells, "He's a low-life scum! They could pretend that they were real guns. Who'd care?" Looter begins to get back up, running away, shouting, "You're insane!" And Eddie starts to pull off the Venom symbiote, yelling, "Enough! Whatever the hell this is, it's not getting out. Come on, there's a place that we can go to help get this fixed." A short while later, Eddie heads over to Alchemix to see Dr. Steve, and as Eddie walks through the lobby, Flash Thompson lowers his paper, seeing Eddie Brock watching it. Once Eddie is gone, Flash Thompson walks over to the counter, telling the security guard, "Hey, I'm here to see Liz Allen. We went to high school together," and a few seconds later,
That's what I was trying to do originally.
as he's tossed out, he yells,
Shade,
"I have
I
your
think.
names!"
Cool.
And also your security card. While he swipes the security guard to get back inside, Peter is sitting above in an alley, stating, "These new spider tracers with full audio are something else. $3,000 a pop. Yep, don't regret buying these at all." Inside Dr. Steve's lab, Eddie
Wasn't even
shouts
that
that he
one.
needs something to keep Venom calm. The stuff that they're using isn't working anymore. Dr. Steve tells Eddie that he sort of anticipated that this might happen, so he's been working on a new serum, one that incorporates the elements of anti-venom. Eddie looks up to see two giant vats of the serum and he says, "You certainly made a lot." And Dr. Steve tells him, "Making gallons was actually easier than making a cupful. Plus, it would be useful if we ever ended up needing to kill the symbiote." Eddie looks at him, telling him, "Are you insane? There's no way that I'd..." But just as he says that, Flash Thompson walks in, stating, "Don't worry, no one's ever going to harm that symbiote again." Eddie looks at him and tells him, "I'm not sure what a soldier boy thinks he can do, but the symbiote is staying where it belongs, with me." Flash tells him, I'm the one who taught Venom to be a hero. And from what it looks like, you can barely control it, Eddie. Eddie yells, that's where you're wrong. It's not about controlling it. It's about us. We are Venom. Venom starts to come out, and Flash laughs, telling him, I'm done talking. I'm taking my partner back now. Come on, pal. Let's go fight the good fight again. Just then, Venom begins to pull away from Eddie and towards Flash, and in a moment of confusion, it latches onto both Eddie and Flash. While everyone begins to struggle over who's going to take control of the Venom symbiote, Dr. Steve says that he's going to go check on security but before he can reach the door, Peter rips it open. Dr. Steve asks, are you our new security? Did Alchemex buy up your contract after Parker Industries went down? And Spider-Man asks, what? No, I'm here because my best friend and worst enemy are here. As Spider-Man looks up, he sees Venom attempting to bond with both Eddie and Flash at the same time. He runs in trying to help pull Venom off of them, and Flash tells him, it's okay! Venom is starting to come back! And Eddie shouts, no! It's us! We were always meant to be together! Peter then pulls a piece of it off, stating, you're both nuts! This monster is from outer space! As he pulls, he throws two small pieces of it into the giant vats of anti-venom, and then stops. He looks back and asks, Dr. Steve, what is that stuff? And Dr. Steve tries to explain that it's an astrobiological serum that regulates hormonal outbursts of the symbiote. Peter then says, it hurts symbiotes, got it. Spider-Man then webs up and swings behind the vats, and then using his feet, he tips over both vats of anti-venom. There's a loud sploosh as Dr. Steve's serum pours out onto the floor, covering up Flash Thompson. As the white haze fills the room, Peter jumps out asking Flash if he's okay. And Flash says, yeah, I'm good, and not Venom. In fact, it looks like I'm what you used to call Brock. I'm anti-Venom. While Flash gains a new suit, across town, Luthor sits in a bar telling the bartender what happened earlier. He thought he was going to die. He's no pushover either. He fought Valkyrie. She's an Asgardian. The bartender continues washing the glasses, stating, yeah, sure, whatever you say. But as Luthor finishes, a hand reaches out, telling him that he sounds like a man that they could use in their organization. Luthor looks back, telling him, I'm not interested. The looter loots alone. The man turns around, telling him, yeah, this is one of those offers you can't refuse. And he spits black liquid into the looter's face. Luthor pulls away, asking, what the hell? And as he struggles, the black liquid starts to spread.
It's just getting worse and worse.
Entire face. Luthor looks up with a Venom mask, stating, don't worry about a thing, boss. And Lee Price laughs, stating, haha, I don't worry. I'm kind of a maniac. Welcome, Luthor. You've just become a made man. Back at the lab, Spider-Man looks at Flash Thompson and he asks, are you okay? Flash goes, yeah, this stuff feels great. Eddie then turns around to get back up, shouting, you tried to separate me from my other half. We're going to. And Flash turns back, stating, you know what? Shut up, Eddie. And he whips his arm, grabbing Eddie by the neck. Eddie, with the Venom symbiote, screams, it burns! And Peter says, okay, now I know where everyone stands. Anti-Venom is, well, literally, anti the guy called Venom. Spider-Man then punches Eddie, yelling, cool, that's a side I can get behind. And Flash shouts, no, Eddie is mine. Release Venom more. Spider-Man says, what are you doing? Venom is one of the most deadliest things on Earth. But Flash Thompson grabs a part of Venom and pulls him off and then says, wait, I can't hold Venom or I'll kill him. Doc, grab a container. Spider-Man continues looking at Flash, asking, what are you doing? And Eddie gets up shouting, no, I won't let him be taken. We were meant to be together. Spider-Man then webs up Eddie, telling him, that's enough out of you. If you want to keep going, I'm going to make a web gag too. As Dr. Steve returns with a container, Flash webs it up and begins pulling Venom into it, stating, he's coming with me. And then he begins to run out of the lab. Spider-Man swings up, following Flash, telling him to hold on, but Flash asks, so you can snatch my partner again? That's a no can do. Spider-Man then asks, where are you even going? Just follow me. I know a place we can go. Oh, a short while later, over at Bobby's apartment in Soho, a.k.a. Mockingbird, Flash asks, so where are we? Spider-Man tells him this is Peter Parker's girlfriend's Bobby's place. We very well can't go to my place because, you know, secret identity and all. Thankfully, though, there's all kinds of sciencey stuff here. Maybe we can neuralize this critter once and for all. As Spider-Man takes the container, Flash takes it back, telling him, oh no, I worked too hard to make Venom into what he is. He was a part of the Avengers and a Guardian of the Galaxy. He then pops open the container, asking Venom, you're not the creature you once were, are you? You changed a lot, haven't you? Meanwhile, over at the lab, Dr. Steve begins to spray Eddie with a solvent to remove Spider-Man's webbing, and as Eddie gets up, he yells, I used to be able to snap out of this stuff. Eddie storms out,
He's my data self. Hello. We met at Experience years. I help him with financial decisions. He's a genius. He shows me which credit cards I'm likely to be accepted for. That's because I know things like his financial history, but not things like where to go for a pre-match pint.
Find out how your data self can help you make better financial decisions at Experian.
How about no?
Shouting that he'll find him again. Even though their bond is severed, he will find Venom. Back in the apartment, Spider-Man is working on a small device while Flash pets Venom as he sits in the tub. Flash asks what is he working on over there, and Spider-Man tells him that it's a symbiote compass. It should allow him to find big symbiotes using a sample from a little symbiote. All they need to do now is snip off a piece of Venom, and they'll be able to track the rogue symbiote. Flash tells him, whoa, 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 Venom was just starting to trust me again. Spider-Man tells him it's like clipping a puppy's nails. Come on, chop chop. Flash sighs, stating, you are such a bully. And under his breath, Peter says, unbelievable. Flash Thompson thinks that I'm being a bully. Flash grabs onto Venom, telling him, sorry. And he clips a piece of Venom off and then hands it to Spider-Man, telling him, I hope you're happy. Spider-Man tells him, yep, over the moon. Now let's go see him. But before he can finish, the device lights up with an arrow, and Spider-Man tells him, look at that, my very own symbiote tracker. Later, as Spider-Man and Flash head out, Flash says, man, I miss this so much, to be a hero like Spider-Man again. Spider-Man tells him, cut it out. Jokes are my thing. The Flash Thompson that I knew, he was a serviceman, Purple Heart recipient, and proud veteran. That guy's already a hero. The device pings, and as the two land on a building, Spider-Man tells him, this is the supervillain lair of Black Cat. And the two crawl into the vents with Flash asking, Felicia Hardy? Weird. We used to date. Spider-Man's device begins pinging again, and Spider-Man says, oh, there's one thing I forgot to mention. Symbiotes? They don't set off my spider sense. That's what everyone sees. Felicia Hardy, along with all of her minions, wearing Venom symbiotes, asking, who wants a big old kiss? As everyone begins to surround Spider-Man and Flash Thompson, Lee Price tells them, don't worry, guys. You'll be changed over in no time. Spider-Man calls out to Flash, but there's one guy in the back that looks like he's in charge. We should be able to beat him up after we beat up everyone else. So Flash Thompson charges in at Scorpion, stating, that's easier said than done. Great to be back in the game, though. While he begins to fight up Scorpion, Lee Price looks at him and says, there's something different about that symbiote. Something dangerous. As the two fight back in Bobby's apartment, Venom begins to try and leave and notices that he's now locked in. He lashes out, destroying the bathroom, and then he sees a shard of glass fall into the sink, and he says, drain! And he jumps in. Back at the fight, Felicia jumps on top of Flash, and as she gets close, Lee Price shouts out to her, get back! You're too close! She begins to lean in to kiss Flash, but Spider-Man says, I know you had a long history and all, but is now really a good time, Felicia? Flash leans up to give her a kiss, and as he does, Felicia jumps back up, stating, long time no see, Flash, and thanks for the help, as the Venom symbiote is clearing from her head. Lee shouts for everyone to get Felicia, and as she jumps off of one of the minions and up on the ceiling, she says, you're outnumbered and outclassed. Sorry, but this cat's out of the bag. She jumps up the window, and as she falls, she lands on top of Eddie Brock. She gets up, stating, thanks for breaking my fall. Wait, Eddie? Of course you'd be mixed up in all this symbiote business. Eddie shouts, asking, where is he? And Felicia grabs his hand, stating that they need to go. The guy who's in the driver's seat of that thing is even worse than you. Back inside, Spider-Man holds off a looter, stating that they need a new plan. He's got an idea. He grabs the man with false arms and uses his fire to start setting the place on fire. Flash Thompson asks, why did you do that? And Spider-Man tells him, we're surrounded by supervillains wearing symbiotes. What could go wrong? Just then, his spider sense goes off, and a part of the building comes crashing down on top of him. Back outside in the alleyway, Eddie Brock then asks, Lee Price is back? And Felicia tells him, oh, you know him? Well, he's trying to take over my thing as Kingpin of Crime. He took over my whole crew using that kind of symbiote facehugger thing. You wouldn't happen to know a way to stop him, would you? Eddie stops, pulling Felicia back, stating, stay right here. That symbiote with Lee isn't my symbiote. Just then, the black liquid shoots out of the drain below, covering Eddie, and he says, now this guy is. Back inside of the warehouse, Spider-Man tells Flash that he's got to say, it's good to see you back in the suit, buddy. You've done a lot of good work. First with the program, then with the Guardians. You've earned it several times over is all I'm saying. Good job. Flash Thompson tells him, I really appreciate that. But it might be better if we weren't totally screwed right now, Spider-Man. Spider-Man looks at the chains holding him and Flash upside down, and then he says, yeah, that's true. And Lee Price says, oh, that's sweet. So what am I going to do with the two of you? A short while later in the meatpacking district, two muggers stop a truck telling the driver to get out and leave the goods. But before anyone can do anything, two strings of webbing shoot out, grabbing the guns. As the muggers look up, one of them shouts, it's Spider-Man! And Spider-Man begins relentlessly beating the men. The drivers watch, asking why isn't he stopping? Are they even alive? Spider-Man looks back wearing a Venom mask given to him by Lee Price taking control of him, and he says, keys. The men ask him, what? And Spider-Man webs him up, getting into the van, stating, oh, you're already here. That makes things easier. Meanwhile, back over Corneli's scrapyard in the Bronx, Flash lays chained up to a conveyor belt, Lee Price telling him, the wall crawler was easy to convert, but you, why are you so difficult? Flash tells him, I'm anti-Venom. Whatever you got, anti-Venom's the cure. Lee flips a switch, telling him, yeah, about that. Let's see if you can bounce back from being inside of a furnace. That being said, it's time to get out of here. The heat doesn't sit well with my better half. As Lee heads outside, back inside is watching,
So that
saying
I'll
that she
probably-
can feel media, but first there's
Excuse me,
something
guys.
else that she needs to do. A few seconds
Excuse
later,
me.
Andy uses the helm mark
I
that
said
she
I'll
has
probably
to
do
take
for a
out the
cover
two men
picture.
watching Flash.
It is something
Flash
that I'm not a
asks
bit
her if that's
huge
her.
amount
She
of
asks,
detail
"Is that
into.
you?" Andy runs over to the
Just sort of
furnace,
showing
reaching
off
and
what's going to be
grabbing
happening
Flash
this
by
month
his feet, and as she pulls
in
him
this
out,
theme,
Flash's
as
body
this theme
already
is
been
for
warm.
November
Andy kneels
and
down
the
thinking
beginning
that
of
she
November.
should
It's
try
all to do
harder.
with
If she had known it was him,
V
she
for
would have.
Vendetta
But as
or
Andy
Guy
begins to
Fawkes.
cry, a hand punches through
And
the front of
we
his
all
body.
remember
Flash begins gasping for air.
the 5th
She
of
asks,
November
"What?
and the
How's it?" Well,
gunpowder
Flash stops
treason
and telling
and
him,
plot.
"No, me
And
first. Why are you here
that's all to
and
do
not
with
back
Guy
and
Fawkes,
Billy in a
and
hospital?
that is
How
why
are you
we
able to pull me out
celebrate
of that
it
molten
this
vat?"
year in
Andy
England.
tells him, "Well, I
And
still have the helm mark."
he
Did
was a
you
guy
really think I was
that
going to sit back? What about you? Why are you
tried to
cold
blow
swamped
up the
to
Houses
death?
of Parliament
Flash
and
tells her,
didn't
"Yeah,
succeed,
it's
but
a bit complicated.
he's a bit of a
But
legend
we're
in
facing a new baddie calling
in
himself
this
Maniac. He's
in
using
our
mania to
world
turn
now,
people
because
evil, including
government
Spider-Man.
trying to take down the
Meanwhile,
government.
back over at
Hoo-ha.
Alchemax, Dr. Steve
But I'll tell you a little bit more about that next week, guys, as I will be continuing on with
But as the light comes on, he sees Eddie Brock sitting there.
continuing on with this theme. Again, I think I'm pretty much done with what I want in this picture. I've got to add a few more bits and bobs sort of on here, and I might pinch up the dragon a little bit, make him a little bit more dragony and things like that. But otherwise, I'm pretty much done here. And I don't think I'll be able to put too much more detail in here, really. Just a few bits here and there where it needs it. I'm going to get rid of those two there and go back over here to get these bits. But if you have enjoyed yourself today, guys, and you've learned something, maybe you've just enjoyed what's going on with the new theme, let me know in the comment section down below, and let me know what you think and what you would like for this month's theme. As I've obviously already got some ideas, but if you've got ideas or particular dragons or any kind of like fireworks scene, because I will be trying to do an actual scene itself as well as the main image. As well as a main image, I should say, because I want to do something a little bit different this month, and I want to take away from the darkness that it was last month, because we no longer need any darkness in this month, because it's not dark month anymore. It's November and the start of something new. Already worrying I'm covering things up there, guys. Just literally messing around now with things, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. Because it's all, this would be like the first time I've really done something without sort of drawing it out first. I want to sort of learn how to draw in this app instead of every time drawing it out on paper. Stop the actual playlist there, but if you want it back, guys, just let me know. It is there to stop the quiet in the background, because I don't always chat, as you know, when I'm actually drawing. Sometimes I just get on with it and forget to talk sometimes. Again, the dragon that I will be drawing will be a lot more detailed than this here. This is just me faffing, really, seeing what I can do in this app. Doing it quite roughly, to be honest with you. I'm going to give him a snout, I think. Go behind that one. Make sure I do not overcolor what I've already done. And it looks like I can't do that, so I'll just give it a hint. See, that's the face. Because, again, this is a previous image that I worked on, something I did last week. I remember, if I check out the Instagram posts who actually, when I first started doing something on this, because I posted I was doing something last week for this month. As last week was holiday time, I believe. No, week before that was holiday time. So I was sort of, whilst I wasn't really working or doing anything on my channel, I was just posting out other videos that I've been up to, things that I do. Now I'm sort of finishing up and going to be sticking this up later on today on the channel. But if you have liked it, guys, don't forget to leave one. I can't sing. I'll do. You zoom out, barely see it. Just don't look close. Just don't look close. Right, okay, so yeah, that's pretty much the theme. So this month is all to do with fire. Let's make it a little bit so you can see where I'm pointing. It's all going to be doing with it's all going to be doing with fire, fireworks, dragons, and V for Vendetta mask and full picture next week, guys. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a like if you do. But if you don't want to miss anything, guys, hit the bell so you do not miss a moment of this month, as this month it's going to be a little bit more colorful, as last month was quite dark for dark month. Trying to do Xanadu. Like I said, I'm trying to do something a little bit more colorful, a little bit more in theme this month. I want to come away a little bit from darkness, as it depresses the shit out of me. And I don't want to be depressed. And I don't want to make other people depressed. Not my aim. But if you have any depressions, or you have any problems with depression, you can leave a comment down below, guys, and I'll happily answer any questions. If you feel that you think you're never going to leave that depression moment, because you will, it just takes a little bit of time. And you have all the time in the world. You would be. Oh, we'll just put it over to there. No, we won't. We'll get rid of that. There we go. We don't need that. We don't need that there. We'll get rid of that. Okay, so I wonder if this will actually. My phone should switch itself off. That's always good. I wonder if this will fit because, like I said, we've got. I saw in there. We've got to make sure this fits onto the actual post. I did check the sizes before to see if this one would fit in. Another reason why things are in the specific places that they are, say the mask and the fireworks, because sometimes the top half will get cut off, and which is a pain in the bum. But if it does, what I'll do is I'll try and create something else and learn a little bit more and make this a little bit thinner. That's the right word, lower, whatever. But yeah, well, I think I'm done here for now, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed today's stream. Don't forget to leave a like if you have and hit that bell so you don't miss out on next week and every day this month, because I will be drawing and I will be playing some different games coming up very soon. I'm not sure what I'm going to be playing. There is a few games coming out on PS Plus, so I might be trying those out. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Check out what else I've got going on with Spider-Man, and keep tuned for all of the DLCs from that game, as we've just finished it. We're about to finish up the heist tonight, and the next part is coming out this month. So keep tuned, and I will be back throughout this month for some more fireworks, fire, and dragons, and V for Vendetta next week. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I've been Blut084, BLUT084, art and games here every day on YouTube, occasionally on Mixer, every day and night over on Instagram. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow for some more art and games. Don't know what I'm going to be playing in the daytime. May just carry on drawing this. Otherwise, guys, see ya next time.